So good afternoon, everybody. Hello, landscape world. Hello, everyone interested in livable and resilient cities. This is Seco. Seco is all about green roofs. Living natural vegetation on top of buildings. We have done that for over 4 decades in all scales, in all varieties, in all climatic conditions, all around the world. At Zinka, we understand green roofs. We're fluent in green roofs. We invented modern-day green roof systems over 45 years ago, back in the 1970s. So I don't want to talk about all of these points, multiple benefits of green roofs, but very clearly there is a range of social, economic, and environmental benefits of green roofs. Apart from just looking stunning, they have natural plants on top of a building, so they turn CO2 into oxygen. We create a natural habitat for flora and fauna right in the city, in the existing urban fabric, at no extra space on top of our roofs. We can clean and purify the air. Green roofs perform an almost natural water cycle. Rain is falling down, the green roof is keeping it like a sponge, and it is evapotranspirating back into the air. So those were a range of ecological benefits, but there's also economic benefits. The green roof will actually greatly protect your building. I know there is a lot of debate about, or even a bit of being afraid of green roofs. The opposite is true. That will protect your building. If you come and join and visit me in Germany, I'm happy to take you to a green roof that was built 1977. I wasn't even born then. It's still there with the same original waterproofing, the same original layers that were developed back then. Energy performance, will keeping the heat outside, will keep the cool inside, reducing conditions for costs for air conditioning. And if used at a large scale, green roofs are actually an air conditioning for whole cities. Noise reflection, and most of all, recreate amenity space on top of the roof. That's usually the best spot of your plot. You're away from the noise and the hustle and bustle of the street. You have good views, but you have some privacy as well on top of your roof. So we tick those boxes on the sustainability goals. Click forward, please. And one more. So I want to talk about some worldwide references, just to get you some inspiration of what's been done before and get your creativity going to design some green roofs. I want to start with our headquarters in Nürtingen, which is close to Stuttgart. So I work here on the top floor. If you are in Germany, please let me know. I'm happy to give you a tour of our roofs, where we've got all the different varieties of green roofs. Next slide, please. Let's move over to one of our most famous reference projects, Highlight Park in New York. This is a park on stilts, done in 3 phases. It is now finished, almost 2.5 kilometers long. In some areas, only about 6 or 7 meters wide. The Lonely Planet guidebook has named the Highlight Park #1 tourist attraction of New York. And I think there is quite a few tourist attractions in New York. So this is what landscape can do if it's well designed. It is so popular with people that sometimes police has to fence off the entrance because there's too many people on the High Line. Next project, the base camp in Denmark. This is student accommodation. Now, thinking back of my time being a student, I wish I had this as a student accommodation. This is an amazing building. Starting at ground level, you can walk over this roof, publicly accessible, coming up about 22 meters above the ground floor, 6 stories high. Very simple landscape design, meandering pathway, interesting planting, all realized on a range of different systems depending on the slopes. We need to see how we create these systems. Next project, very interesting as well, Boijmans Depot in the Netherlands, a museum that was installed on an existing little park, and this bowl-shaped building actually allowed for a larger piece of park being installed on the roof than what was taken from the ground level. Another special point about this project, you see these large birch trees growing on the roof. They had only about 45 centimeters of growing media. That was the limit that was structurally possible on that roof. Now that allowed for a lot of pre-planning. Before they started to build the building, before they were digging down into the ground, they have already trained those trees to be transplanted onto the roof. So they have a shallow root ball area. They were grown in the final green roof substrate. We talked a lot about soil today already. This shows what is possible if you plan well ahead. Next project, please. Completely different from the type of green roof. This is what we refer to as an extensive green roof. It is not used, it's not accessible, shallow, in depth, lightweight, low maintenance, economic, yet amazingly beautiful, and it offers all those benefits that I've mentioned before. People stay at this resort in Thessaloniki because they simply like it. They feel happy when they go there. We talked about what green spaces can do emotionally for our well-being. I think this proves it, and that could easily be somewhere located here on the Red Sea coast. We stay in Greece. We move to the capital, Athens, Stavros Niarchos Foundation Cultural Center. Special project for me, I call it my baby. This was the first project I started working on when I joined the company 15 years ago. That was during the biggest economic crisis in Greece, and people told me, stop working on it, it won't be built anyway. It turned out to be an amazing project designed by Renzo Piano. This is a public park in a very dense area of Athens, starting on ground level, slightly tilted, and at one stage, and you don't really realize when you're walking through that park, you enter the roof area. Those olive trees, over 100 years old, they are growing on top of a 7-story car park. That's a roof situation. Another interesting detail about this project, you see that guardrail, which is actually running for over 1 kilometer in length around that building. That is not mechanically connected to the building. It is not penetrating the waterproofing. It is held by a special system developed by us by the weight of the green roof. Coming to a project in Germany, which is not as spectacular, but I wanted to show you the opportunity to combine solar power and green roofs. We were called about 20 years ago by clients trying to be sustainable, and they said, oh God, we're in a dilemma, what should we do? Green roofs or solar panels? You shouldn't have to make that decision. Combine both of it. We use the same principle as with the guardrail before. The ballast of the green roof holds our solar panels in place. So instead of applying 100 kilograms of concrete, 100 kilograms of green roof will do. But you can not only harvest energy on roofs, you can harvest food, you can harvest vegetables. And this is an interesting project in the heart of Paris, Le Cordon Bleu, which is a cooking school, a world-famous school where master chefs are being educated. Inside the building, they learn how to cook, and on top of the roof, they learn how to grow and produce fresh ingredients. And they even produce their own honey right in the center of Paris. Now, arguably the most Instagrammable reference project, Copenhill in Denmark, designed by Bjarke Ingelsbro, which is a waste-to-energy plant. Most architects would have tried to hide that waste at the end of the day. Not so Bjarke Ingels. He decided to turn that into a tourist destination. Let's get people here to hike up that building. They are skiing down on natural grass, reinforced with a special geotextile. There is over 200 trees growing on that slope, a huge challenge for us. To deliver that, we worked about 8 years with the architects, right from winning the competition when a lot of people thought, well, it's easy to draw it, but it will never happen. So I think we prove with that system anything, literally anything is possible on top of roofs. Now, if you thought, well, this is all in Europe or in North America, no, this is possible in this region. This is possible in the climate. Al Shadi Park in Kuwait, we see here an aerial image of phase 1. Phase 1 was about 30,000 square meters of green roofs installed over 10 years ago. That was so successful that they have done phase 2, which is another 20,000 square meters, which was opened 2017. And inside this building, we held an International Green Roof Congress in 2018, educating this region about the possibilities of green roofs. Now, as we speak, they are preparing to open phase 3, which has doubled the green roof size. So there is over 100,000 square meters of our green roof build-ups. Phase 3 is about to open in February. And I think doing that over a course of over 10 years proves this is very much doable over here. We have a range of amazing projects in Cairo delivered by our partner Shira Group. They're responsible for us in Egypt and here in Saudi Arabia. I've just chosen this one, Set West Towers, which is a residential project around those towers, and they share this amazing landscape on top of an underground parking. Finally, I want to quickly talk about Aspakeya Gardens in Cairo as well, designed by Sites International, and I think we're honored to have Sites International in the audience today. So I don't want to talk too much about it because I can only get it wrong. But this is very interesting because Aspakeya Gardens was an historic botanical garden in the heart of Cairo. And they more or less sacrificed it to build the metro. And now it was possible to bring that park back again on top of the metro station using our Cinco builders. Now, I didn't talk a lot about technical points. I don't think that is what is important here. For you to know, contact us. We will work out all the details that are required. Maybe 1 or 2 points to stress out. When you specify Cinco green roof systems, you're not specifying a technical data sheet, a weight of a geotextile, or a drainage rate of that element. You are specifying our know-how of over 40 years. You are specifying the lessons learned from these projects, and there is hundreds more. So I think that is what sets us apart from material suppliers. We supply solutions. Now, one point I want to mention, and that's quite interesting because it has been mentioned a few times today is the soil. Next slide, please. We call it engineered growing medium. It is not natural soil. We've heard about how important it is, even on ground, even more so on top of a roof. A few bullet points, I won't speak too much. We need to look into the physical and chemical parameters, obviously, get the right mixture of mineral and organic components to get, and that is key, the right water-air balance in our overlaying media, which will allow us to retain as much water as possible, but while completely water saturated, it needs to be permeable. If it continues to rain, that water needs to go through so it can then flow off in the drainage layer. We try to be low weight, but at the same time prevent erosion and be ready to anchor those trees. Now I think we have a choice. We can influence how our cities look like and how much green infrastructure we have. So it is possible to do something like this. And therefore, I hope I was able to show that there is no limit to the possibilities on top of a roof. If you can imagine it, we can realize it. Thank you very much.
Very kind, very kind.